Hello, Kevin Raylick. We're going to start this stream in just a couple of minutes. Alright, one more minute I think, and then we'll get going. Ooh, can hear me fine. Very good. Alright, 2 o'clock. Let's get going. So I wanted to share with you guys the whole book. So this is the whole month in front of me. We started with Smoky Quartz and we ended in Stone Gray, and I sort of wanted to do this sort of layout just to see all of the colors in one spot. So, there were a lot of surprises in here for me. I really was not expecting to like the oranges as much as I did, because orange isn't a color that I tend to gravitate towards, but for these sorts of projects, I really enjoyed how they turned out. It was nice, like happy surprises every time I had an orangey color. There were a couple of them, like the Florentine Red. I've never really cared for that color. And so I was a little bummed out to have picked that so early on in the month. But, you know, that's the whole idea with the randomly picking inks from a bag, is that you don't know what you're going to get, and you're going to end up using things that you normally wouldn't pick for yourself. And then I wound up feeling okay about the chromatography painting that I did with that. So let me move this aside and we can sort of go through one by one in the book. And if you have any questions, you can drop them off in the chat, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. Alright, so here's the book that I made. There were some lessons here, given that this is my first bookbinding experience. The first one is that I should not have punched the holes so close to the edge. So I'll know that for next time. But overall, I was really happy with how well the book held up, and especially this paper, which is, let me pull it out. It's this stuff that I cut down to size. Not cheap. But it worked so incredibly well, and I loved that I could put as much water and as much ink on the page as I wanted to, and not one bit bled through. And that in itself was a little bit of a miracle. So the first day we pulled Smoky Quartz. Let me know if the image is clear or not, because I can't tell. The feed is on a little bit of a delay for me. So Smoky Quartz. And the chromatography for this one is really interesting, and I sort of wish that I could have pulled some of those colors out in the painting. And I think if I went back and I did it today, I would be able to get more from it. And that's sort of the beauty of this project, was that I really did learn a lot on how to manipulate the inks from having to do 30 of these. So I think I could do this better. And maybe someday in the future I'll go back and try again with this color, just because the chromatography is really fascinating. There's blues and oranges and a little bit of purple in there. I mean, I think that, oh my goodness, look at all you guys joining me in the chat. Can hear you fine. Hello, very clear. It looks great. It's clear. Okay, great. Thank you guys. Thanks for confirming. This is my first live feed, so I'm not sure. I wasn't sure how it was going to go. And I'm smearing purple. So yeah, I think now looking back at this first one, I would like to do it again in another iteration, just so I can pull more of those colors out. Day 2, I was so happy with the green sheen for the trees. I think that worked out really well, and I love that it pulled out some of this like light lavendery bluey color down at the bottom. And this was the Diamine Monbato's hat. And this also has some interesting colors in it. We have like orange in the chromatography, some blue, and then purple only just at the very top. So I'm kind of wondering where the orange is in here, but maybe again if I tried it again, I would be able to pull out those colors using a little bit different of a technique. So day 3. I really love this one. The colors in this are just amazing, the greens and blues. And then I'm not sure how well you can see it, but the red sheen. The red sheen worked really well for the trees. And this was the KWZ sheen machine. And out of the 2 KWZ sheen machines that I did, this one, and then the other one that was later on, was this one. I think I prefer this one. I think it's because it does have such heavy green and blue in it. Hi, Amanda! And this one is just sort of mostly blue. But yeah, I think I prefer this one. So that was day 3. Day 4, everybody really loves this color, this Private Reserve Arabian Rose. And this is another one that I would have liked to do again now that I know a little bit more about how to manipulate the ink. And if you guys have any questions about specific technique or anything that I use, you can drop them off in the chat, and I'd be more than happy to answer. This doesn't have to be just me yapping the whole time. We can have conversations in the chat. So Sailor inks, I'm sort of partial to Sailor inks. Oh, I'm sorry, this is the Stipula Red. I think the Sailor ink was the one after that. And so yeah, I don't really like this color, but I think that this turned out as well as I could have made it turn out. It's sort of just like a one-note chromatography. There's like very faint pink in here, and then maybe a little bit at the very top is a little tiny bit of purple. So it's okay. I'm still not sure I would put it in a pen, just because it's, you know, it'd be my preference not to have this in a pen. So this one is the Sailor Sakura Mori, and this is pretty. And Dash, I think, mentioned in this video that I should have done blossoms on the trees, and I agree. I should have done that. I'm not sure why I didn't. When I start these, I have no plan of what I want it to be. it's just, whatever happens, happens in this. So, yeah, I don't see a lot of people doing this technique, Miss Marilyn. I learned it from Nick Stewart. He had a Udemy course on ink art, and I really recommend taking the course if you're interested in doing these sorts of things, because it's really well done how he does them. And this is only a small portion of the course. I think this is one, maybe two videos in the course. These sorts of landscape chromatography paintings. So maybe in the future I'll try some of his other ink art techniques and maybe another 30 inks, 30 days. I don't know. So yeah, I should have done some blossoms on the trees instead of like these funky little splotches. And there's orange in this color, which I had sort of along here. And then within the painting, I just sort of covered it up on accident. I do the Nick Stewart technique when I do my ink reviews, but you use bleach to make the stars. Oh, yeah. You're afraid of getting bleach everywhere? You know what? That's so funny because the first couple of these I wore an apron. Because I was afraid of splattering it onto my clothes and getting ink splatters on or bleach splatters on my clothing. And you know what? After the first couple, I stopped doing it and I haven't found any. So I don't know if I'm just really lucky or if it's not been a problem because the concentration of bleach that I've been using is only about 25%. You got a speckled... I didn't get a speckled apron. No. No, I was like really happy that I didn't manage to bespeckle myself. So yeah, I think maybe it's the low percentage of bleach in my fountain pens in case of... Yeah, I just don't have 30 fountain pens to fill every day, and I can't imagine cleaning that many pens. I really try to stick to 3 pens being inked at one time. I mean, it's probably something that I'll do in the future, to do a 30 inks, 30 days with fountain pens. But I just don't have 30 pens. Yeah, the Post-its were pretty cool. I think I may have thrown them away, but I really liked how those turned out. Those would be interesting to include, like, in a notebook or whatever. You can bespeckle your Post-it notes with bleach water and then write your notes on it. Yep, I agree, Amanda's videos are very useful for fountain pen users. We've seen people do this. Paintbrush. With bleach water, Miss Marilyn? You hated the pen at the end of the 30 inks. That's funny. Yeah, I'm afraid to do that, and I don't want to clean a pen every day. I enjoy cleaning pens, but I don't want to get burnt out on cleaning pens. I'll move on to the next one. I love this ink. This ink makes me really happy. This is the Colorverse Rising Reflections, which was at the DC Pen Show, and I heard somebody was able to get it from Drom Ghouls after the fact. Yeah, I just don't want to clean that many pens. I don't want to clean a pen all the time. I guess I could just... Amanda, maybe you can answer this. Do you fully fill your pens, though? You don't just, like, dip them. Like, I can understand dipping a pen and then cleaning it. A 912 is on my wish list. What kind of nib do you have on your 912? But yeah, so this one is so pretty to me. I love that it has the sort of turquoise sparkles in it. And the way, I don't know how I managed this, but it's, to me, it sort of looks like the sparkle is sort of like being wind swept off the trees, like little leaves on the trees. I enjoyed that. But yeah, so there's like purple and blue in the chromatography here. Again, maybe if I had like tried a different technique, I could have gotten those colors out of here. But I'm pretty happy with how the whole thing turned out on this one. With a falcon nib. Soft. Yeah, I was thinking if when I can get my hands on a 912 that I might try like a music nib. I guess I feel like I'm going to waste ink if I fill the pen all the way. Soft, fine, medium. Yeah, that makes sense to just dip it. So I guess after day 7, I was thinking to myself, this can get boring really fast. Oh, I'm afraid of putting ink back into the container because I'm afraid of contaminating it. I guess if I put it back into like a sample vial, that would be fine. That also seems like a lot of work. Yeah, which one was this? Oh, the Henry David Thoreau, the Organic Studio. I was a little bummed with this one because I was hoping that the sheen would be more on the trees, and so I had to do a lot of lifting to get that green color under the trees, and so the sheen sort of became this dark, ominous background. Let me zoom in a little bit. Right with them until you... I guess yeah, in addition to, having to clean out a million pens, like I don't like leaving ink in pens for any amount of time. So like a month is sort of a long time for me to leave ink into a pen. I'm a nervous Nelly with ink. It would take 3 hours? I bet it would, Manda. Can you guys hear my cat? His name is Taco. But yeah, so day 8, I thought that we needed something different, so I started taping off. The pages. And I think that added something for myself as well, because, it's easy when you do the same thing to get sort of bored with it. And then if I'm doing videos and I'm editing videos... Taco, you're internet famous. Yeah. Hi. I don't want you guys to get bored with it. Now it's impossible to center this. And so, yeah, I think that doing the tape helped. Reminds you of Alaska. Yeah, I like this one. I really like how it sort of seems like a cloud is over the tree line here, and then you can see more of the sky in this area. This one was the Harry Potter Montegrappa Ravenclaw, and this is probably one of my favorites. I have another Bell. I have another cat. His name is Queso, so I have Taco and Queso. And Taco is a long-haired Norwegian forest cat, and queso is just like an orange tabby. Yeah, it sort of does look like an aurora borealis. The Montegrappa Ravenclaw, I really like this ink. After I did this, I put it into a Pilot Custom 74, and I love it. It feels a little bit dry in that pen, which is sort of weird. Normally inks don't feel very dry in that pen at all, so I'm wondering if it's a little bit drier of an ink. But I have to do more testing with it on different papers. Expecto Patronum. That does sort of remind me of that scene when he's around that lake. I could see it. What was this? The Stipula Saffron. I really liked this one. I wouldn't call it a landscape, but how bright the color was, it just sort of made me happy. Ravenclaw House. Are you guys Ravenclaws? I found out recently that I was a Hufflepuff. Well, where did I get that? Maybe it was a Truffet subscription box. I think that's what it was. I got it in a Truffet subscription box, which was sort of weird because they included the whole set minus Gryffindor, which baffled me. But then I thought maybe they kept back the Gryffindor to include for the full bottle boxes. Oh, you are a Hufflepuff. You're a Hufflepuff, but you claim to be a Ravenclaw? Gryffindor. Yeah, I don't like the color scheme either. Now, Amanda, I know you like gray-purple inks, so you probably like Kurosame. I got a little bit of the purple in this. Or is it pink? A little bit of the pink. Oops. I'm not even in frame, am I? Maybe I should zoom out a little bit. That might be better. So these Graffon Faber Castile colors, I was really surprised. When I swatched them, I don't have my book in here with me. When I swatched them, I was just like, yeah, okay. But in doing the paintings, every single one that I did the painting with, I loved. So it may not be like a pen ink for me, but certainly for art purposes, I think they're great. Amanda is crazy for purples. Yep, I know that. You liked the window look? For day 11 you liked the window look? Or for this one? But yeah, I really liked how this one came out. I think I started... What did I start doing? I started putting little twigs and stuff in the foreground. All of the window looks. Yeah, they certainly make them more interesting. And it was hard thinking of ways to to frame these that weren't all just sort of the same. This one is another one that just made me happy. And you can, in person, I'm not sure how well it comes off on camera, but you can really see sort of like the pinks and yellows in this. I just love these Faber Castile inks. It's a shame that they're so expensive. Otherwise, I'd probably buy all of them. The small bushes. Was that the one before? This one. But yeah, even the chromatography on the burned orange, it just makes me so happy. It's such a bright, happy color. And again, I'm not an orange person, so... Night Bus Purple is, yeah. Yeah, maybe in one of the next ones, I'll pick more of the Harry Potter, because now I'm curious about them. Did you do the Night Bus Purple, Miss Marilyn? Yeah. Peeling the tape is satisfying. It's always nerve-wracking because sometimes it looks, you didn't do it, sometimes it looks like ink had gotten under the tape, which is such a bummer. But most of the time everything was okay. So which one was this? Sherwood Green. I really like this green, and I like it in a pen too. I didn't get a lot of sheen out of it, and I know that it has some sheen. There's a little bit there. So some things that I learned is that bleach water will save your butt if you accidentally get ink somewhere that you're not supposed to. That includes paper, desks, all sorts of things. It's a bit dark in a pen. I guess I sort of prefer the darker green inks in pens. I had what was the Graffon Faber-Castile ink that was included in the last ink box, the green one. I had that one in a pen, and it just wasn't doing it for me. Okay, so there were a few things that I edited out of the videos. One just some of the monotonous stuff. I didn't want the videos to be overly long. So, you know, drying the pages and inks and whatnot, I would edit out. And then also mistakes like getting ink in places, or was it the last one that this happened on? It was day 29. When I peeled the tape up, the ink, there's like a big puddle under the tape here. And unfortunately, the Sailor Gentle Sautin, I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right, Sautin, it has a lot of staying power. It feels like it's like a partially permanent ink. And so it took a lot of tries to get this out with bleach water. And it still looks a little funky, but it looks a little bit better than the blob. And so things like that I would edit out to sort of clean up the edges. You held your breath a few times. Yeah. What was the... I didn't see your last one. What was the last... Oh, it was the Lamy Dark Lilac, right? Not in frame again. Yeah, this one was Sayuro. This was one that I picked up at the DC Pen Show this year. Just sort of, it was almost on a whim. It came free with my Vanishing Point. And this is actually my first use of it, and I really love it. I love the greens, I love the blues. There's a lot of variation in color in this one. Yeah, the Lamy Dark Lilac. They don't make that anymore, do they? So day 15 is the Alanine. I think this was just the second shimmer ink that I had. But it also has some nice dark red sheen in it. Beautiful. Yeah, I was pretty happy with how this one came out. It's not my favorite. I'm not sure how well the window cross hatchings play, but I'm not unhappy with it. The chromatography has a lot of dark blue in it and some green. It's nice. It's a nice color. I sort of wish it wasn't so smeary. I feel like I have to be really careful with it. You like this window look. You're hoarding you're hoarding ink. $289 for a bottle of ink. There has to be another purple ink that's just as good. You guys are hoarding ink. I just used washi tape. I used a combination of this this stuff. This stuff has more of like a papery texture to the top of it, and so I guess now thinking back, I'm a little bit surprised that it worked so well. And this is just like a regular white washi tape, but it has more of a shiny finish to it. But just washi tape. And then to get some of the edging, I would, at first I would tape parchment paper. And then after I realized that parchment paper does not stick to things, or things don't stick to parchment paper, I moved to rhodia paper because it has a little bit of a coating, and so it was less likely to tear the page when I went to go peel it back up. And then I would cut it with these edging scissors. Uh-oh. One part Shinkai. I've not tried that one. And 3 parts Yamabudo. Interesting. Sacrifice. Let's see, what day is... Oh, speak of the devil, Yamabudo right here. This way. So I was pretty happy to get some of the green sheen in the trees, and I think I started doing trees a little bit differently in this one as well, so they looked more like trees and less like blobs. Yamabudo chromatography is sort of, it's not as interesting as you would think it would be. Toilet paper chromatography. I hear people do it with coffee filters. I guess you can pretty much do it with any absorbent paper. I don't know what makes chromatography paper better than coffee filters or toilet paper or paper towels. So I guess if we were to rate all 30 of these, this would be number 30, my most disappointed in one. And I don't think it's the ink. I think it's just how I executed this. The idea was that I would try 4 different techniques in one, and I should have planned that out better and just done one at a time instead of doing 2 at a time. Yeah, I like Yamabudo too. The pink ink? This is Yamabudo. Or is there one back behind here that you saw? It was Yamabudo, yeah. I'm going to zoom out more because I keep missing. No, that's the one. Yeah, that was funny. It just sort of happened to be at the same time that we were talking about mixing inks. Yamabudo showed up. You know, that's the way with Yamabudo. You never think, you know, it's going to pop up, and then all of a sudden there it is. Day 18. I feel like Lamy Tourmaline is sort of unpopular, but I think it's such a pretty ink. I really liked some of the greens and the more vibrant turquoisey colors. This one reacted really nicely with bleach. And a little bit of red sheen in there. I'm still experimenting with how to do trees here. The whole book is experimentation. Yeah. Do you not like it in a pen? Lots of green in it. Let's see, day 19, Stipula Purple. I really like this sort of lavender, light bluey color in the chromatography. This one was nice. I got a little bit of ink smearing from the previous page on here. You never used tourmaline? Yeah, I guess I sort of gravitate more towards darker inks. I don't know why. I like bright colors like this in art, and I do like this in a pen, especially if it's a wet pen because it'll get pretty dark. But sometimes really bright inks don't excite me, and maybe it's just, you know, that time of year where I prefer darker inks. Maybe after winter is done, I'm gonna want really bright. Yeah, I was surprised with this one. I wasn't expecting to like it so much, just because I have limited experience with Stipula and I so dislike the Florentine Red. But this one was nice. Day 20. Papier Plume Ivy Green. I have this in my Sailor Provier Slim Green Nebula pen, and I think it's a pretty good match for that pen, but it feels a little bit dry in the pen. But the color itself is so pretty. I really love the blues in here. Got a little bit of red sheen. And I was sort of happy with this one. I kind of liked how I did the framing. What's next? Oh, the chromatography for that one. Some greens and some blues. I didn't get much sheen in the swatch. There's a little bit in the trees here. Not a lot. What is this one? Sailor Magno Kuzu. I really liked this ink. I was really surprised by this one. It was so pretty. I was not expecting to see bright yellow in the chromatography here. But there it is. No, I received Stipula Red as like a random ink sample from Pen Boutique. And so I've had it for a while, and I swatched it, and I put it in a pen, and it just feathered like nobody's business. And I guess like I just don't really care for that color. So I've had bias against Stipula Red for a long time. It wasn't just this month. But yeah, I really loved this ink. So what do we have next? This Oxblood. Yep, Diamine Oxblood was next. I really had to lift a lot up at the top to get some of that brown color to come. You guys are naughty. That one was nice. I wasn't expecting to see sort of this fuchsia color in here. Is that fuchsia, or is that more of a magenta? How long do I leave the chromatography strips in water? I draw a line at the bottom of the strip, and I dip it until it gets sort of half, like somewhere between 1/3 and halfway up the strip. And then I hang them with a little bit of tape on my camera rig so that they can dry vertically. So they're drying this way. What is this one? Ah, yeah, another Faber Castile violet blue. I love this one. The way that the blues just sort of come out of it. And these Faber Castile inks, they just flow so nicely when you dip them in water. I was really pleased with this. So yeah, the chromatography for this one is just mostly purple with a little bit of that blue at the top. And it's so pretty. Yeah, it is sort of Winter Wonderland looking. So Amanda says that this ink is dry, and maybe it is. I don't know. But I love it so much that I really don't. It doesn't bother me how dry it is. I just sort of like the blue blackiness of it. And I was really happy to get some of these pinks out of it. Some of those light blues. And I believe this was the first day that I started doing that edging stuff, which made it a little bit more interesting. And the chromatography for this one was really surprising to me. I was not expecting all of this pink and orange. I really would have thought that it had more blue in it. This one, Yodaki, Sailor Yodaki. This one was, I swear I hit the jackpot with really beautiful chromatography for a couple of days here. Yeah, the edging does add something, just something different, you know. It's not a straight line. Yeah, they're expensive here too. I think, what are they, somewhere around $30 a bottle here? Which, that seems expensive to me for a bottle of ink. I'm telling you, Dash, that seems like a business opportunity for you to start an ink sample business in Thailand. You might do well. But I really love this one. The flowers, I wish I would have done like I did later on this month. But so many oranges and pinks in here. It was really, it was really a joy to make this one. A little bit of the dark green. Yeah, $32. It's expensive to me. So this is sort of like a similar chromatography to that other one, to Kuzu a little bit, but just more red in it. It's more of like a purpley. See? just start it as a side business first, and see how that goes. And it's an excuse for you to buy ink. So, you know, any excuse to buy ink is always a good excuse. You should. You should do something about it. All right. The Bob's Blue ink. This was, I think this was the official DC show ink, and then the Colorverse was like kind of a secondary official ink for the DC Pen show. This one was memorial for Bob Johnson, who apparently was a organizer, and I believe he founded the show. This was my first year going, so I honestly don't know him, but it was really lovely for Monteverde to create memorial ink for them. And it is in itself, it's a really, really pretty blue. They did not. It was Monteverde, but I think that's all Jaffa brand, isn't it? Monteverde and Private Reserve. It's all like under one big umbrella now. So maybe in a way, yes, Private Reserve did make it. I don't know. Yeah. So it's not very interesting chromatography. It's just a blue ink. And it looks like maybe if you really put in a big heavy splotch of it, you can get a little bit of sheen on it. Not a lot. That was day 26. Day 27. This is the other KWZ Super Sheener. This is, or Sheen Machine. This was the first one. It's just blue in the chromatography. But I mean, it made a pretty painting. So day 28, I started adding flowers for Dash. This is the Mont Blanc Le Petit Prince Rose Burgundy ink, which I have a video of, like an ink exploration video of, and I really love this ink. It's so pretty. You know, muted colors, I guess, are my thing. But I started doing the flowers a little bit differently. I would add a drop of water, and then I would pull up the water, and then I would go in with the tip of the dip pen with a little bit of ink on it, and that would sort of like get it to balloon out. So I need to do more experimentation with that specific technique, but I think it's an interesting way to do flowers. Yeah, Sheen Machine is crazy. I had to be so careful using the Sheen Machine colors and the Organic Studio Super Sheeners, because they're just a mess. They get everywhere. Yeah. So the chromatography for the Rose Burgundy is nice. It's got some blues. I'm not sure if that's a gray or a muted green. It's sort of like a weird in-betweener color, but it's pretty. Day 29. This is probably one of my favorite blue inks. Yeah, and the problem with using a super sheener in this sort of application is that just inherently you're going to splatter ink places, which is why I have bleach marks on the front of my book, and then after a while I stopped caring. You're going to get ink everywhere, and then if it's like a sheening ink, good luck. Oh, the Petite Prince is your favorite? Yeah, I like it too. I'm not sure if I'm not sure if that one makes my top 3 or not. Is the KWC Honey difficult to clean? Because I just put that in a pen for the first time. It seems like it wouldn't be because it's just like a regular ink and not a sheening ink. This one I was pretty happy with. I'll zoom in and give my feed just like a chance to catch up. Really, every week. I sort of liked this one because I put a little person down here and then birds flying in the back. And I'm not sure why I haven't bothered to do that yet, but I was feeling brave. And I guess I was feeling that, you know, it's sort of the penultimate one for this month, so may as well do something different. And I'm really happy that I did. I also started doing the grass with a brush this time instead of the fountain pen. And maybe not so much on this one, but the next one I think it adds a little bit more depth to the painting. Yeah, it is sort of Winter Wonderland. A little bit of sheen on it. I tend to get a decent amount of sheen in a pen with this ink. And so this is the last one. This is a Faber Castile stone gray. And this one I think is in my top 3. I really liked this one. Robert Oster Thunderstorm. And then the third one I haven't decided on yet. But I really love this one. And this one was, again, I did it a little bit differently. I diluted the ink for the grass bits. And then instead of just laying on a bunch of ink for the tree line, I picked up the ink with a paper towel, and that brought out some of those more brown colors in there. This is really lovely. There's a little bit of purple in this cloudy bit here. that came through. There's some of this brown, yellow, green color. I guess maybe it's like an olive or a khaki color or something. This is a really beautiful ink. And then, of course, when I was doing the bleach splatters, I managed to get bleach under under the Post-it note, and so I had to come back in and fix it. So bleach is a friend and an enemy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sailor, Pilot, and Diamond inks are very easy to clean. I've not had any problems with those. This one's your favorite? Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. And I think a part of that is one, the ink is really amazing. So there's the chromatography for the ink. But two, I've had 29 opportunities to practice this technique. And so I was more willing to take some risks. And also I learned a lot about how the ink moves around. So I really recommend that if you're interested in doing this sort of technique, by all means do it. It's an excellent way to to use ink and to explore ink properties. And it's easy, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Like this one, it is not my favorite. Like I want to do this one again. And I want to do this one again now, knowing more about how ink behaves in water and different ways that I can move the ink around. If you watched the last video that I did, the day 30 video, laying down the ink the first time on this line and then coming back in again with the brush, it's really amazing to see how the ink moved. Yeah, I wasn't planning when I made the book. I should have put in more paper so that I could put one thing on one side and one on the other. But I wasn't thinking that far ahead. I thought, okay, I need 30 sheets of paper. Take your color bias out of the equation. Yeah, and sometimes you want to put the ink down first, and sometimes you want to put the ink in the water to see how it just moves. I'm not sure it's perfected quite yet, but there's certainly been improvement. Do you guys think that you're going to try it? Definitely. Well, you said you already do. Trying to pull a fast one on me. Yeah, so I'm not quite sure if I'm going to do the same sort of thing in November, but I will tell you that something very special arrived in the mail today. I'll give you a sneak peek. Ow. Uh-oh. So something special arrived, and I have special plans for that something special. And so we'll do something similar for that for December. But again, I'm not quite sure what I want to do for. Yeah, I'm not sure what I want to do for November. This was a really big task and one that I'm not sure I completely had prepared for. I was only 4 days ahead of myself at the beginning, and that slowly became 1 day ahead of myself, or it rather quickly became only just 1 day ahead of myself, which caused me to become really proficient at editing. Yay, yours is out for delivery. Yeah, so I think I might be doing Christmas cards. We'll see. Ooh, I agree, Dash. You know, I got into the hobby not long ago, probably right when the pandemic hit. And I tell you what, it's been such a blessing to sit down and enjoy inks and pens and really special pen pals. How amazing is it to write a letter to somebody that you have no idea who they are and then write you back these beautiful letters. It's such a special thing to receive in the mail, knowing that somebody sat down and took the time and just to write something to you. How beautiful is that? Hope for humanity right there is letter writing. Aw, thank you, Dash. To me from them. I'm sorry to hear that, Dash. What's going on in Thailand? Ooh, holy cow, that's a lot of cards. Uh-oh. See, that's why you gotta give them away. You gotta just mail them to people, Miss Marilyn. All right, guys. Do you guys have any other questions? I might let you go. Any questions, comments, concerns? Oh, the second wave of the pandemic. Ooh, that is a lot. 20,000 people every day. How's the vaccine rollout there? Everything is shut down. Yeah, I guess now more than ever is a great time to have pen pals. Feel connected to people without actually having to be around. One p.m. So is that around 4 o'clock my time, I guess? I'll pop in. When's the next video coming? I have something scheduled for the 8th. It's just a short swatching video for some Ferris wheel press inks. I wanted to take a little bit of time, a couple of days, to just like come down off of the last month because it's been a lot. Man. Alright guys, I'm going to let you guys go. Next video is sometime next week. Well, there's definitely going to be one on Friday. I might do... It is a lot of work. Sometimes just finding music to put on the video can take an hour just to like find something that works. And sometimes you get so fed up that you put something on there that's kind of weird. And I don't mean to do it, but make some shorts. I've not tried shorts yet. I'm pretty new to YouTube. I'm not new to YouTube. I've been on YouTube for like 13 years or something, but the channel is new. Somebody should pay us to do these videos. I'm waiting for monetization. I don't anticipate it coming anytime soon, though. Yep, you too, Miss Marilyn. Have a wonderful day, Amanda. Thanks for stopping in. Thank you, Dash. Thank you all. Have a great day. Stay safe. Stay inky. And keep in touch.